Get ready for Prophets and Ballers, where politics are a passion, sports are a living, and God is a given.
Hey! Come on now, fellas! We've got to answer the bell. Now let's go!
Welcome to another episode with the mighty legend Dave Mason from betonline.ag. We have Mr. P with us, Dave Mason from betonline.ag, and I'm Salts. A lot of sports to get into. First and foremost, want to say hello to both of you. Hope you guys are doing great.
Yeah, man, all good, man. All is good down here at betonline.ag. You know, looking forward to March Madness, getting ready for that, and all the other great sports that are in season right now.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Mr. P, you doing good in the Northwest?
Doing good, man. Not too much sunlight, but there's a lot out there today, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
I got plenty of it for you down here in Costa Rica. So it's too
Yeah.
much. So maybe
Yeah.
I wish there was a happy median here, but
Yeah.
trying out there.
And that's why we love Dave Mason, because, obviously, we're loyal to our, books here in the desert, but, the Costa Rican guys are super sharp, and you guys, in my opinion, are the best offshore online sports book, betonline.ag. We can get into any promotions you guys have during March Madness, whatever is coming up. But the news broke out today, and we had actually tweeted it out that Jake Paul do not be surprised if his next fight is Mike Tyson, because if you follow a lot of what Mike Tyson has been saying lately, make a long story short, I saw your odds that you guys came at minus 300. I thought that would be a little bit higher, knowing the public's going to jump on Mike Tyson, thinking it's the old Mike Tyson, but it's really not. Jake Paul has the edge in this fight. What do you think?
It's not the old Mike Tyson's. It's old Mike Tyson.
It is old Mike Tyson.
Yeah, so you weren't all right there, right? Just delete the old Mike. No, we're up to minus 500. Yeah, we usually open fights a little bit more conservative than we think, because often with fights people just take the dog. So it's better to open them too low than too high, right? So yeah, we're up to minus 500. But yeah, I mean, it's one of these fights, man. But I'm a boxing guy. I've been all my life, But this is where we're at with boxing. This is what we're talking about. This is going to get tons of action. Jake Paul had these last two fights against a couple, tomatoes, and I think that kind of woke him up. Like, shoot, I need to be betting these freak fights again. So whether it's a has-been UFC guy or a boxer from the 90s. I mean, but this will sell. It's on Netflix, and it's down in Arlington.
Yeah, Jerry Jones.
I mean, this fight's gonna sell. I was chatting with one of my guys at work. He's laughing at it, but I was like, you know what? We're both gonna watch it though. So yeah. But Mike Tyson, what is he? 57, 58? I mean, God, it's just people hitting up it's Mike Tyson though, and I'm like, and it's like Mike Tyson. I mean, shoot, when was he good? The 90s?
Yeah.
He's an icon.
Man.
Yeah, he's an icon, right? Yeah, he's an icon, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, he's an icon, but he's 57 and he hasn't it's been good since really the 90s. He made a little comeback in the early 2000s, but he really didn't do much. And now we're 20 years after that. Jake Paul. Jake Paul. You give him credit. He does train his ass off, and he's good. He's not as good as he thinks he is. He's not as good as all these YouTubers thinks he is, right? But
Right.
he's still talented. You got to get hats off. He's still taking this craft seriously. He's training his tail off, so he's going to be in shape. He's going to take this seriously. Whereas Mike, God, I'm in Mike Tyson's age bracket. I'm not that old, but I mean, we got a lot of damage to her, and that was never even I wasn't anything close, but you take the damage and you just your bones hurt and your cardio. That's a big thing, cardio. I mean, Tyson's going to have to knock him out earlier. I mean, his legs are getting wobbly, and so whatever. Well, people be betting the hell out of it, so I can't wait.
And what made you guys push it to 500 from 3?
Just let me see if some bets. Let me see. Yeah, people bet them. Let me see if a little bit of sharp action.
Start on Jake.
Yeah, this one bet.
Yeah.
Limits are still low on it. It's a little sharp dude hit it at minus 450. So
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's fighting a name. He's not fighting the boxer that we all know and love. But I'll go as far as to say this, and there is a lot of Jake Paul haters. I do think in his division, if he stays at that weight in one division, I do think he's a top 20, 25 fighter at the pro level. He just doesn't have the footwork. What's going to give him trouble if he fights someone serious?
Yeah.
His footwork's just not there. And, we've been following boxing our whole life. Footwork is it's one of those God-given talents, right? Just like Deontay Wilder, he had that God-given talent with that right, a deadly right that made him millions of dollars, but he's not a great boxer. So, but you guys are going to get a lot of action on that. Speaking of old, so we have Donald Trump at minus 115. I saw that you guys had it at minus 125. You have any liability going into that yet?
Not on either of the old guys.
I know Michelle Obama. You probably have a lot of liability.
Yeah. Michelle Obama's the bet. That's the. Let me see here. Let me refresh my memory here.
Didn't she just announce that she isn't running?
Well,
that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, this is politics we're talking about, right? This is worse than the WWE. You know what I mean? The WWE has more
facts,
facts and reliability and standards, and this political stuff. But I don't even think she said it either. I think her group said it. So her campaign or whatever the hell who represents her. So I don't even think she said it. But yeah, Obama's liability, Robert Kennedy's liability, and smaller liability than, and that's it. I mean, highest bet counts are Biden, Trump, and then Michelle. But that'll change. That'll change as we get whittle down the contestants.
Right. It's going to be, as far as Biden and Trump, you're pretty much balanced already, or slim action?
Yeah, I mean, there's action, but early on, again, there's just so many runners, right? You have, there's so many people been betting on since 2020, right? Since early 2021, there's just so many contestants, and now when you kind of cut them down, right, the action's only going to be going for now, really, to Biden, Trump, maybe Obama, maybe Newsom, etc. But before Nikki Haley's getting bet, she's not going to get bet now, right? So that money's got to go somewhere, and the a bunch of these folks. So I mean, if it stays Biden and Trump by election night, we're going to need Biden again, big time. But a long way to go. I still have my doubts that Biden run. I don't know how Biden runs, man, but that's just me. I'm not some political insider by any means. I'm starting to watch more and more Fox and CNN to catch up on this stuff, and I want to jump out a window. But it's interesting, though. I learned more from politics from the betting side of things. I mean, that 2020 election, like all that stuff that happened, is like I learned more about U.S. politics and how it all runs more during the 2020 election because of betting than I did in any kind of freaking high school or college course.
Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable. That's how we were also. As soon as they started putting odds in politics, And it's been a long time now. We were with another offshore, and that's what really got us interested in politics. But now, when it affects your own life, obviously, you take a more of a different type of scope and a different type of lens towards it. But do you guys have props on the State of the Union speech? Over here, the Sharps were saying it should be pegged at 63 minutes. Biden's State of the Union speech. Do you guys have a
Yeah,
number on that?
we have. I don't think we have an over under on the. Oh yeah, 69 and a half minutes. There it is.
Oh, you guys have it at
Yep,
69 and a
69.
half minutes. Okay, so
What did they
have
say?
you
Everybody's
said
on the
60.
under. I mean, shoot.
Yeah, and believe it, everyone's on 63 as well.
Okay.
Um, so that 69 is telling you that he's gonna pause a lot and stumble and mumble and trip, and
He
he's gonna
might fall
restart.
asleep. Yeah, he might fall asleep. I mean, if he falls asleep, that clock's running, man. There's no timeouts here. That clock is running. If he takes a little power nap in between, 48th minute, and he takes a couple minutes off to take a little nap, that clock's running.
Yes, and I'm with you guys. I think even at 69, that's going way over because for everything he says, with how bad obviously his numbers are, the Democrats are going to stand up and clap for 10 minutes on every little thing that he says and
Yep.
claims. So
Yep.
uh,
They could all place bets on the over and just stall the hell out of you. You never know, man. Come on over, Democrats, to get some. We need the overs. So sign up with an account. Unlimited standing ovations. Let's cash this over.
that is
Hell,
awesome. That is awesome. But no, we can't wait until it gets a little closer to November to touch base with you again. Couple
yeah,
things, with combines, we saw Caleb not, doing much of anything,
all right,
not even medical workouts. So obviously Caleb's still going to be the first quarterback taken.
sure.
What do you think about McCarthy and Daniels? I mean, are you placing them fairly high?
Yeah, I mean Daniels is the favorite to go number two.
Number two,
Yeah, and he's actually getting bet to go number one. I mean, I don't see it. I think Williams is a number one and minus 900 favorite for a reason, right? But
right?
people are taking Jay. A lot of people don't want to lay that price so that they or anything close to it. So they just take those lottery ticket long shots, and that runs up a little red number on them. So yeah, Jaden Daniels is is our liability there. Of course, a lot of action yet to come in. Let's see. So yeah, number two overall pick. Actually, Drake May is a favorite there, minus 125. That changed, and then Daniels at plus 110, and JJ McCarthy 7-1. And then number three, you have Jaden Daniels plus 130, Drake May plus 170, Marvin Harrison plus 350, and JJ McCarthy 6-1. Everybody else a long shot.
Right. Right. So you're saying Drake Mays moved up up the betting board that much that he turned into a minus 125?
For number two, yeah, for
Number
second
two.
pick, he's minus 125, and Daniels is plus 110, so it's close to a pick 'em.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, let's get into well, first of all, because tonight's a State of the Union, but where my interest really is to see that Celtic and Nuggets, right? They're probably on a collision course more than likely. Who knows what happens, right? But the T-Wolves lost,
Right.
Big Cat, and I feel so bad for him because they've been having a great year. Could they be Denver? Who knows? But what do you think about tonight's matchup and how great Boston has been playing and the way Boston just beat Golden State over the weekend almost by 60 points? Obviously, Boston is the heavy favorite to win the whole thing. I think they're even as low as plus 190 at some places. So, do you guys have any future liabilities on the Celtics at all? A lot?
No, we don't. No, they're actually a win for us.
Yeah, because there's not enough of a payout.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's no, the favorites usually are good for us. A lot of they'll get more bets, but those payouts aren't. They'll let me see here. Yeah, I mean the bet count it will always be the highest or close to the highest, but the payout isn't enough. You put $10 on a plus 225, we only lose $2.25, or whatever, $22. Or that same $10 bet on a 5-1, we lose 50. So that's how that those red numbers get run up. So yeah, I mean, what are our liabilities now? Let me check here. Championship. Sorry about that.
No
Yeah, I mean, our liabilities are shoot. I mean, the Warriors lottery tickets, Warriors, Lakers,
Lakers, right?
Thunder. Thunder's the only kind of the
And there's
T-Wolves. They've
yeah,
dropped. The Clippers. We got a red number there, but Celtics are decent for us, and Nuggets are good for us too.
yeah,
The
and they're going.
Nuggets are really good. Nuggets are really good, actually. Yeah.
And so, what kind of action you seeing there tonight? Any liability? Because that's a marquee game. I mean, that is a heavyweight battle. If you want to
Oh
talk
yeah.
about,
Darn straight. I mean, it's possibly preview of the championship, right? Let's see here. Risk. So Celtics laying one. The cash is close to 50-50. About 55% of the cash is on the Celtics. Let me see what the bet count is. Bet count the other way, about what is that? 58% is on the Nuggets bet count, but I mean, there's still so much action to come in. There's still probably 80% of the money's yet to come in. So do with those numbers as you think, but most of the action's
yeah,
yet to come in.
yeah.
Let me see if there's any wise stuff here. Sorry, I just need this system to load. Yeah, a little Nuggets plus 1.5, but nothing too much.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's just such a big marquee matchup. That's going to be really interesting, and I see them on a collision course, and I do think the Thunder. I think they're phenomenal. And we review cards, and we have a massive sports card collection. And
Nice.
so we've been loading up on a lot of Victor Wembanyama, but at the same time, we've been telling people that Chet is basically a mirror image of him, and he can do not quite as much as Victor, but he's a
Right.
baller. He's a baller.
Oh yeah, man. That's exciting to have the NBA. You got these 2 7-foot, whatever the hell they are, and that's just gonna be fun to watch over the next decade, man. Just these. I hope they both stay healthy, because it's
Yeah,
it's a guard driven, it's forward driven league. But now, I mean, just the centers now with Embiid and Joker, and then now these two young kids, and they're both just so tall, and talented. I mean, it's insane. So I hope they both stay healthy, because that's going to be a hell of a rivalry over the next decade and a half.
yes. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I wish Papa was a little younger, so he could have Wembanyama, for a much longer time.
Right.
But he's just so good, and his vision. I mean, I know he's a double guy, but his assists are just incredible as well as his Chet's. And I thought the Thunder would be, much more complete until you can tell Giddy has a lot of mental, hurdles right now with, all the allegations against him. I mean, his productivity rate has went down by 7.8 versus last year. Last year he was a beast, and this year, it's like letting Ben Simmons shoot from the beyond the arc.
Ben Simmons. I'm a Philly guy, so please, you start saying that name, and I start
Oh, I know you're a Philly guy.
breaking out in hives. You know what I mean? So
Did you
Yeah,
see that
that's a curse
he's out
word. That's a
again?
curse word. Yeah, yeah, I saw that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
we should put a prop up, and what's going to happen first. He hits his next three. He hits his next three-pointer. We land a man on the Mars. I mean, he's oh my god, what a headache he was.
That is unbelievable. Let's stay on the hard court. Some liabilities. Let's just talk about the obviously the Blue Bloods, and then obviously Houston and UConn fighting for that number one spot. Right now, yesterday we were on. I was on Fox Knoxville,
Nice.
and yeah, and so all of them, they were excited that they beat South Carolina, and I said, we still have Arizona as a one line. Tennessee can get that one line. They still have to beat Kentucky over the weekend, and I do think they need two quality wins because Arizona's point differential is like close to 18, and I know they haven't beaten as much competition as Tennessee has. But speaking of the one seeds, the potential one seeds, what are you guys seeing in March Madness? Who do you guys have liabilities? I mean, you always gonna have liabilities with the Blue Bloods, but I'm really, really curious to know if Kentucky, Carolina, or Duke, does any of them hurt you guys bad? And are you guys getting any Houston, Connecticut action?
Our liabilities, as far as they're concerned, Kentucky's number one. Hey, you named it: Kentucky, UNC, Duke. They're the top three.
Yes.
And Arizona, Houston, Creighton, Tennessee, Kansas. UConn's a very small win for us right now. I mean, we win that, we have the office pizza party maybe. But yeah, Kentucky, UNC, Duke. So you called that one perfectly. I mean, shoot, college basketball is a funny thing. I'm sure like you guys and me, we're all diehard college basketball guys. We pay attention to this shit all year, and we understand that November and December is the softest odds too. That's always a headache for us. That's when the sharps absolutely feast on college basketball. But we don't so much. I mean, March Madness is so big, and there's the masses really come in starting March. So even though we have all those red figures, I mean, most of that action is going to come in the next couple weeks. With this week in the conference tournaments, next week the big ones, and then after selection Sunday, that's when the rec guys come in and make their March Madness picks. The guys who haven't been following the sport since November. So even though we have those big red numbers, I mean, the public will be piling in over the next couple of weeks and then throughout the tournament. So not too concerned about those red numbers at the minute.
Right. And yeah, I mean, you guys have conference tournaments just started today, so there's a lot to play out, a lot of different lines. But I have a feeling that you guys are going to be rooting for Connecticut all the way through, and they got the team to do it. Very disciplined.
They're good. Yeah, absolutely. I think they're the defending champs. Danny Hurley's a spaz, but he's a good coach. I think they had the best all around team, but you never know. Once that, I mean, I love that. I love that tournament. You just never know. So, but they're the rightful favorites for a reason, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to transition, back to the world of sports cards because, like I said, we invest a lot in sports cards. We're kind of high risk takers. We tell people, we've been telling people, Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, there's a lot of rationale behind it. It's almost impossible not to believe in Bitcoin. But I wanted to transition, just for a few minutes. Like, what is your take on Connor Bedard? Transitioning into hockey. It seems to me that where you see Wembanyama and Chet, the new prototype basketball players for the next 10 years, hockey's going the opposite direction, the smaller and faster, right? I mean, if you look at just the Hughes brothers, right? They're
exciting.
Yeah, they're small, quick, and shifty. How good can Connor Bedard be? And this is basically a question for sports card collectors. How much have you seen him? Do you like him? Do you think he's going to live up to his hype?
I mean, it sure seems that way, doesn't it? I mean, I don't watch as much hockey as some of my coworkers do. I kind of, we have a bunch of Canadians on the props team and everything, so and a couple Swedes. So I kind of let them take the lead on the hockey stuff. I do follow it, but no, the guy's awesome. He sure looks. I mean, but I mean, these little small guys too. I mean, are they going to be able to stay healthy? That's just my concern with some of these smaller, quicker guys. But maybe they're just too quick to get hit. I don't know. But no, the kid looks great. Hype is worth it. I think he'll keep going forward and be one of the best in the NHL. But again, I definitely when it comes to NHL stuff, props and odds and all that stuff, I definitely let the Canadian and Swede coworkers take the lead. Like I'll throw my opinion, and sometimes they tell me shut up and stay in my lane and concentrate on fights in basketball and football. But
Fair enough. So we'll end it up with this. We always end up with a fun question. I'm a Steeler fan, so I have a Steeler question for you. Mr. P's a Seahawks fan. He might have a Seattle fan. Do you think the Steelers end up with Russell Wilson? I mean, you're going to get him for only $1.5 million, but they're big believers in Kenny Pickett. So I have a two-part question. Do you think Kenny Pickett can break out with this new offensive coordinator, or do you believe in what I believe Bill Parcells? He had an algorithm. He says you only need to see 25 games before you know what you have in a quarterback. Or do you think he can break out? And B is, do you think the Steelers should get Russell Wilson?
Oh, man, I actually follow the Steelers pretty closely, even though I'm a Philly guy. I grew up back in the day, and my dad was from the middle of the state, so he was a big Pirates fan, and
Love them.
Yeah, back then he would his later years he would curse out the management for just what that franchise became. But anyways, so I follow Steelers pretty closely, and I was optimistic on Pickett at the end of his rookie year, and I think everybody was going into last year, and he just didn't do a whole hell of a lot last year. I don't know, man. It's a tough one, right? I mean, you can get Russell Wilson for that price. I think you pull the trigger and let him compete with Pickett. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Steelers are almost there. They have some talent.
We have talent. Yes, they do.
Yes, I mean they made the playoffs last year with nothing at quarterback. I mean, no worse production at quarterback. I mean, I think they could have plugged in one of us and they wouldn't have missed a beat at quarterback. So I mean, Russell Wilson, I mean, God, he was such a headache in Denver, but we do know what he's done at Seattle, and he did improve in Denver last year compared to his first year there. So I think you get him on the cheap. I think you get him on the cheap and have him compete with Pickett and best man wins and go from there. But it's Pickett's job to lose as long as Russell Wilson comes in there and competes. I mean, does Russell Wilson want that though? Does he want to?
Does he want to back up? Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know, but it would be like I'm sure the back room discussion would be like, listen, you're competing for this job, but Pickett's got to really show us something.
Yeah, that would be so interesting. And we're huge Steeler fans. We go to their training camp, Latrobe, etc.
Nice.
It would be, I mean, because Pittsburgh it's not blue collar anymore, but they still have that DNA, and you sense it when you go there. I think they'll go through shell shock seeing a celebrity like Sierra there,
Right, yeah. What are your thoughts on Justin Fields though? I mean, that's his. I mean, you got to pay him, right, in a year. I mean, I don't. That doesn't seem like a Steelers type move. But that being said, I mean.
So personally, I think Justin Fields has done enough to prove that he's capable, and he's definitely a starter in this league. The problem with him is if you bring him in then you didn't get a chance to try him during his rookie contract. You're going right
Yep.
into an option. It's
Yep.
just
It's a money
the
play.
the risk is just too high, especially now you have Kenny Pickett and Justin Fields. And by default, it's just an unwritten rule. I mean, think how many opportunities just recently Sam Darnold got, right? So if you're a first round pick, the Steelers by default have to give Pickett going into Latrobe, going into training camp, the pole position. And that's just how the NFL works. But if Justin Fields can, I just think he's that great of a talent. And, with the receivers that we have, and if they can open up some space for him, who knows? Who knows what can happen? I'm an Ohio State guy. I'll always be scarlet and gray. But I don't see that move for the Steelers, the way and getting to know Omar Khan, it just doesn't seem they're going to take that type of money,
Right.
because you get Justin Fields, you're basically telling the entire NFL, we got Kenny Pickett completely wrong. And so that sends a red flag to their, internal scouting and organization as well. And that affects the GM. So I doubt the GM would do that, although it was under Colbert. Colbert's the one that drafted Kenny Pickett.
Right.
But, Omar Khan runs them right now. Don't want to take too much of your time. We're talking to Dave Mason from betonline.ag. Mr. P, do you have any concerns with the Seahawks? You'd like to ask him a question, or are you guys going to run it back?
I have no concerns, but I do want to add something. I'll never forget what you said about Russell Wilson when he first came into the Seahawks.
Yes, tell Dave the story.
And here we are today, licking your fingertips, waiting for him to come onto your team, because you guys got some studs. Let's be honest, you guys got some studs, right? But I mean, if you had Russell Wilson last year, holy crap! I'm not a big fan of Russell Wilson's drama and what he brings to the table as far as the team dynamics and stuff. I mean, I'm just like, can you picture a locker room with Russell Wilson, Richard Sherman, Marshawn Lynch? Like, what is that conversation sounding like? And who's actually taking the lead? I bet you it's not Russell Wilson, Yeah, so.
And Mr. P, you're dead on, because just today, Carl Mecklenburg, who's an ex-legend with the Broncos, he literally came out today and called them out. He said Russell Wilson is not a leader, period.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We as Seattleites were thinking about that. Like, why are people getting pissed off at Russell Wilson left and right? And Golden Tate left, right? That whole drama with Golden Tate. And
yeah,
he was kind of the first of the batch to kind of get that fire started. Yeah, but honestly, Kenny Pickett needs to go. I mean, you got, dude. You literally have one of the quarterbacks that has the smallest hands in the league versus Russell Wilson, who has the biggest hands in the league. I mean, there's no comparison, man.
So Dave, the story goes really quickly. We were down in Miami doing work, and we were down there for a long time. And so when the Seahawks drafted Russell Wilson, I said he'll be out of the league in 4 years, and he turned. Because I take pride in my forecast, etc. And it turns out that he produced a Hall of Fame career. My question to you guys is: did he play himself out of a Hall of Fame career, or is he still getting in?
That's a good question.
I think he played himself out of the Hall of Fame.
His personality doesn't help, I don't think. I mean, a lot of players, kind of fall off at the end of their career. I mean, he can play that's the thing with this year. He can play himself back in if he does go to a team like the Steelers, and he produces, gets them in the playoffs and makes a little run, then it's right.
Yeah.
You know, everything's forgotten. I think, especially a town like Pittsburgh. But I think he's still a Hall of Famer. I think. You know,
Oh, without a doubt. I had him
yeah,
as a
yeah,
first ballot Hall of Famer up to 2.5 years ago.
right. Yeah, he still gets in. You know, that's my opinion. But
Yeah.
you know,
But I do have,
Yeah, I think he has a shot for sure.
yeah. But I mean, I have him. I'm not going to say on the bubble because I think Eli and ultimately even Philip Rivers gets in. So, I mean, he has 2 Super Bowl appearances. And without a doubt, that the second Super Bowl that they went to, although he threw that interception, that wasn't defensive driven or Marshawn Lynch driven. He was actually tossing the ball around. He wasn't a game manager. So that remains to be seen. Dave, best of luck with everything. You know, with all these events coming on. You know, we love you. You're the best in the business. BetOnline.ag's the best in the business. Do you guys have any juice specials coming up in March Madness, et cetera, that, you know, we should let the fans and the followers know about? Go ahead.
Yeah, man. What we always have for new signups, we always have a 50% sign-up bonuses for all this old school deposit methods and 100% for the new school deposit methods, aka cryptocurrency. We're also going to have for March Madness a $200,000 bracket madness. It's only $20 to enter. That's a $200,000 guaranteed prize pool.
And folks, there's the reason why we don't have a sponsorship. There's no ties, no money ties whatsoever with BetOnline.ag. It's because we care so much about you. We do our due diligence. You know, we have a booklet of offshore complaints and even onshore complaints. You know, there's been a lot of onshore complaints because, you know, when a lot of these Vegas casinos start throwing out their apps, etc. There's been a lot of shutdowns, and even DraftKings and FanDuel, all of these guys have had their problem. I'm just telling you guys right now, if you want your money in a safe place, knowing no matter how much you bet, no matter how much you win, that you will get paid to the penny, betonline.ag is the place to go. And I mean that from the bottom of our heart, folks. Look, we've never steered you wrong. We spend so much money on the information we give you for free. So, Dave, thanks so much, and we can't wait to do this again.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so
Thanks,
much for
Dave.
having me. Thanks, guys.
All the best. All the best, Mr. P. Take care, guys.
Later.
Later.